So hello everyone and welcome back to a new video. Now, before I go too far, I just want you to hear me out. Because right now, these photography struggles are real. I feel like I'm really struggling with my game. You know, I feel like I've done all the study for the exam and I've gone into the exam and I've sat down at my desk and the examiner throws the exam paper in front of me and I look at it and there's no words I recognize. That's what it feels like right now. You know, and I've done all the study. I've watched all the lads on YouTube. You know, the Thomas Heatons and the Photo Trippers and the Chris Batons and the Guido van der Waters. Oh, I love a bit of Guido. And then we've our own Jimmy McDonald, mother of God, Jimmy McDonald. Have you ever watched his videos? The most cinematic videos. The images are amazing. And I finish a Jimmy McDonald video and I feel like I've been through therapy. Just amazing. And then I come out and I just feel lost sometimes. You know, I feel like I could invite all those guys over to my house, you know, bring them inside and go, welcome in lads, listen, we're going to take a photo. What are we going to take a photo of, Mark? I don't know. Sure, look it. We'll open the fridge and we'll take a photo of what's in the fridge. And they all stand up and they all take their photo of the fridge. And a half an hour later, excuse me, you know, they've all produced these award-winning photos in their own style, because they all have their own style, of the contents of my fridge. And then I walk up and open the fridge. I look into the fridge and all I see is a lettuce or a yogurt pot or a litre of milk. And I close the fridge again and I'm still hungry. That's what I feel like in my photography at the moment. Anyway, I just needed to get that off the chest because the struggles are real. The struggles are real. Anyway, now that I've got that off my chest, I'm out. I've taken myself outside. I've got 2 hours this week. I'm flat out with work. We're busy at home. And the weather forecast for this week is terrible. So I've taken myself to a place that I've wanted to come for a while. It's a little place called Edenvale in Wexford. You know, and again, I'm pushing myself to come out here. This is an hour and 20 minutes drive from home. The costs of getting here, it all just adds up. But at least these videos and this expensive camera equipment on my back, you know, I've got gear on my back that if I sold it, I could probably put a down payment on a house. And anyone who lives in Ireland knows how expensive houses are. Anyway, come on, let's break those negative thoughts. I've come to a woodland called Edenvale. I drove by here once and I went, I must go back here. And I've researched it a bit. And it's got a lovely river, the Derry River it's called, and I think there's some little waterfalls on this river. And we've had a good bit of rain over the last couple of days, so I'm hoping that there's a decent, a nice amount, not too much water in the river. Yeah, so we're going to take a little walk in this little valley, see can we find anything to photograph. Not put too much pressure on myself. You know, I'm standing here at the moment and I'm looking around, and if I flip you around, this is the woodland I'm in, and there's light streaming through the trees, and I can imagine all of these heroes of mine pulling out their Leicas and their Hasselblads and their Nikons and their Canons on their tripods and producing amazing photographs. All I'm seeing is a nice walk at the moment. Join me on this little walk if you haven't been put off by it at this stage. We'll go down the path, we'll see what we can find, and we'll try and keep educating ourselves around composition in landscape photography, because it's hard. So anyway, guys, let's go. Let's get at it. Let's see what we can find. And fingers crossed, we get at least 1 or 2 photographs on this little walkout this morning. Right, let's go. Enough of that. Yeah, so I've just been walking along this track here, and the sun has just popped out. And, you know, there's a lot of green. Whoa, that sun has brightened my face. But everywhere is bursting with green. We're into early summer. But if I just flip you around, as you can see, there's the track. But just here off to the left, I spotted this beautiful flower. You know, and this is how much photography is going against me at the moment. I don't even have a phone signal here in this valley that I can Google Lens this and pretend to know what this flower is and tell you all about it before I photograph it. That's just the way it is at the moment. But just look at this beauty. And it's just standing proud, and I just like it. There's 1 or 2 of them just popping out amongst the green here. I just feel the urge to photograph this little beauty kind of up close, something like that. So I'm going to take a few shots of that flower, and I'll probably have the name of it here somewhere because I just don't know what it is, and I can't pretend to know what it is as the sun just blazes down on top of me. 1 or 2 shots here, and we'll move on. So if they worked out, here they are. So as you can see, I've just come on further down the track, and I could hear this little waterfall as I approached it. A little bit of a struggle here because this waterfall is in the shade, some of it in the direct sunlight, some of it in the shade. So this is going to pose a real challenge for me to photograph. But nonetheless, just listen to the sounds and enjoy it rather than worrying about the damn photograph. But the sun is behind me here, and when it comes in and out, it does illuminate it a little bit. So I'm just going to hang around here for a moment and wait for the sun to come out, and let's see where we can compose. So as you can see, I've taken myself down into the bowl, the plunge pool of this waterfall, and there is light behind me and directly in on the bottom section of this waterfall. And this is where things get difficult with the OM systems, let's make no mistake about it. Dealing with the difference in dynamic range between this illuminated section here with the sun from behind, and then the darker section up here. So I'm just going to have to figure out a few shots. I do see 1 or 2 shots here. I'll just bump across here. And I put on the 8 to 25mm wide angle, a polarizer because we've got shiny rocks, and I'm combining my live ND with an ND8 filter. And I'm going to try and get this bottom section that's illuminated. That's about as much as I can do. So let's get a few shots here, and fingers crossed they work out and I don't get wet. Oh, what a lovely spot. Yeah, it's not so bad sometimes if you kind of just punch in on the area that works, essentially, rather than trying to get the whole expanse of it. And all in all, I think we might get something here between 1 or 2 shots out there, general shots here. I take another shot here. I'll try and get a little bit of creative using a fern in the foreground with the waterfall in the background, but I just have to wait on the light. The light is in and out of the clouds. When the sun comes through and illuminates this, I just gotta be quick. So guys, I'll have a little bit of patience here. I'll take my time. It's a beautiful morning. The rain hasn't come yet. I'm going to enjoy this. If any of the shots from around this little waterfall here work out, well, here they are. So I leave that little waterfall behind me. There's a few grey wagtail there who weren't happy with my presence. I just stood around just watching them there for a bit. But we're going to continue on down this valley and see what else we can find to photograph. And by the way, I've been walking along here and I've met some amazingly wonderful people. I thought I'd be done by now. I've stopped to chat to so many people who've given me advice of locations to go to see kingfisher, to go and see whatever else in the area. Go to this castle, go there, you'd love it here. And, you know, that even makes it all worthwhile getting out. I'm not the best people person on the planet, but I've met at least 3 or 4 people here and I've stopped and had the chats. And we've just talked about the natural environment and the beauty of this place. So that alone has been worth it. Anyway, I ramble. On we go. Let's go. Yes, I was walking up the path. I heard this roar ahead. I knew there was water up there. And again, I've never been here before. And I stumbled across this waterfall. There's 2 cascades, one either side. Very fast flowing river. Gonna struggle to photograph it. That's the big thing. I don't know what they're doing here because if I flip you around, I've got this horrible building. And I doubt if they're generating hydroelectricity from this little waterfall. Yeah, but anyway, the trick for me is, where do I place myself to photograph this? Because I got some deadfall in the way. It's fast flowing and I just can't see any obvious routes out to photograph it. But we'll take a look around. We'll take it all in. I'll have a look at the site first and see can we at least find one spot to get a shot of this waterfall. Yeah, so let's go. Yeah, so as you can see, I've come up and around a bit and it doesn't get any easier. The big problem I have here is the waterfall, the main cascade of the waterfall is in the shade and there's strong midday light hitting everything that's in the foreground. And again, this is where I'll struggle a bit with the dynamic range in the OM system, Micro Four Thirds gear. You know, every bit of gear has its limitations. Hello, hiya. So what I think I'll do is just send loads to some more lovely people. What I think I'll do is I'm just going to have to wait a little bit again and be patient and wait for the light to come in and hit this, if it does. If not, I'll punch in a little bit. The saving grace is I'm shooting in RAW, so hopefully I can recover some of the shadows and take down some of the highlights. You can probably see it here again. I've got all the foliage here in the foreground, brightly lit with the midday sun. But in there in that dark hole is the main cascade. But if I can work in it, I've got the foliage as a foreground interest. I've got the stream heading up to that cascade, and I'm going to try and work on some sort of composition here. What I do have, even though I don't have a tripod, is I've got this solid pole that I can rest my camera on, that I might be able to bracket something, might be the operative word, or at least I can certainly, I can use that as a static tripod. You know, I don't do tripods, I hate carrying them. So yeah, let's get at this and let's see what we can find. Let's see what we can compose. Let's see, can we get anything? Just lovely to be here. Yeah, so I think what I'm faced with is punching in, because it's also quite windy. So all these ferns at a slower shutter speed are showing a lot of motion blur. But again, I'll use this post. I can just punch in a little bit on the waterfall. I've got a 1 second exposure, ISO 500 f 5.6. And there's certainly something I can use there. You won't see it on the screen because of the bright sunny conditions, but yeah, I think there's 1 or 2 shots here I'll work with. Be even better to get down there, but it's just not possible. But hey ho, that's life. Listen guys, if any of these worked out from this bigger waterfall here, enjoy them. Here they are. Wow, it's such a lovely location, this, but so difficult to photograph. Well, what I've found is I've just slowed down a little bit. I'm not getting very far. I'm covering less ground, but spending more time at each spot. Listen to the sound of the water. Can you beat it? No. Anyway, if we look behind me, up here, we've got another little cascade coming down, like a little tiny gorge. But as you can probably see, it's in complete shade and darkness. Where out the other side of me is in the sunshine. And again, I'm struggling a little bit with the dynamic range of the OM1 Mark II. It is what it is. But I think I can see 1 shot. See, we've got a walkway here. But if I just punch in a little bit around this here with the 12 to 100, and you see there where the light has come on. Every now and again the light comes in through the trees. That might be the shot, so I just have to be patient and wait for that light. So I will be patient and I will wait for it, and fingers crossed the light comes back again. If it does, here's the shot. This little walk just keeps on giving. If you look up here, we've got this lovely stone arch bridge and the river rushing down through under its arch. And there's dippers and all sorts of wagtails flying around. Oh, look at the light on it there now. But again, the problem I have with this OM1 Mark II or any Micro Four Thirds system is dealing with the dynamic range of this light. I've got bright spots of light in the foreground, but the bridge itself is in shade. Not ideal for long exposure. But I said to myself, wow, there goes a dipper flying up the river. Why do you need to do long exposure, Mark? I know you like long exposure, but let's just take a shot of this spot. So I've ditched the NDs, I've ditched the polarizers, I've turned off live ND, and I'm just going to take a nice shot showing the water coming through. The problem I have is I've little or no foreground. I do have some ferns here that can maybe act as a foreground interest. But yeah, this place just keeps on giving. If I had brought the Speedos, maybe I could have jumped in and took a few shots, but nobody wants to see that, guys. But anyway, let's mooch around here. Let's see what we can find. Let's see, can we come up with a composition? Holy moly, lads, I've had a lovely hour or two out this morning. Jesus, when I think back to my depressing start, and I just lean against a tree, and how unmotivated I was to come out here this morning. And then I've come out, and while the walk itself, the Edenvale walk, was amazing. My God, the characters I've met along the way have just brightened up my day. Some mad lads and mad ones around here. I met one fella, and he said to me, rather than walk back the way you came, just scooch on up through the trees there up, and you'll find the track up the top, and it's lovely. It's a lovely old walk back to where your car is. And so I did, and you know, I scrambled up through the woods, and I'll flip you around. And I've got this lovely walk through the woodland back to the car. You know, the river's down there still, yeah, 50 meters down there, not too far. But this little woodland, this little walk takes you through the kind of mature upper woodland. What a lovely spot. And you know what? I think this is where I'll end this video, because I'm just going to enjoy this walk back to the car. Oh, it's put a smile on my face this morning. I've enjoyed it. After that depressing start. I didn't know whether I was going to come out of this walk alive, but I can't wait to get back out again the next time with my camera. No idea what these photos are like. Very tricky conditions with the change in the dynamic range and the tones and the bright spots and the hot spots and the dark spots and the shadow spots. But to hell with it all. I've enjoyed it, and I've really enjoyed the characters I've met today. So, everyone, if you've got this far without sort of dying of boredom, if you give a thumbs up or even made a comment below, it would really help me and my motivation, and it goes a long way to helping the channel. You know, at one point last week I was going, I've had enough of this, but now I'm re-energized after this little morning. Yeah, feel free to comment. I love the comments. I've got a lot of regular people who comment and say, well done, Mark. Keep going, and I really appreciate that. And if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. That would really help the motivation and the morale going forward also. I think I'm over 400 followers, which I said to myself back in the day, 6 months ago, if I got 100 people, I'd be happy. I set myself a goal of 300, and now I'm at 400. But to hell with the numbers. I've enjoyed it. So everyone, once again, thanks for your company. Thanks for your support. And thanks for getting this far in the video. If you have got this far in the video, you're a star. But I love you and leave you. Enjoy the photographs from today. And until next time, Slán, goodbye. See you down the road.